Hey guys, Liz Stapleton from elizabethstapleton.com, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of retail so you can decide if it's the right job for you, whether it's something you want to do on the side or for the summer, whatever it is you're looking for. So if you find this video useful, please take a second to like and subscribe. It really helps me in growing this channel. All right, so retail, whether it was your first job or summer job or you're looking to do a side hustle, it's got a lot of pros and cons. I know because I've worked retail before. I've had the pleasure of working retail in a number of different stores, including a sporting goods store, a department store, and a lingerie undergarment store. I worked as a cashier, as a merchandiser, as a fitting room attendant, and a sales associate. So I've had a lot of experience working in retail. And in this side hustle series video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons, especially, if you're watching this as we head into the holiday season when those stores are looking for seasonal workers so you can pick up some extra cash to pay for gifts and stuff. So first, let's talk about the pros, because there actually are pros. I know people can sometimes look down on retail work, but there are some pros. First of all, I'd like to say flexible hours. Okay, many workers in retail do tend to work sometime between an hour before the store opens to an hour after it closes. However, depending on your job, you may actually work overnight or ridiculously early in the morning. When I worked as a merchandiser at the department store, my shifts tended to start 4 to 5 hours before the store opened because my job was to put out new merchandise and set displays, and it was always easier to do without customers around. So depending on your job, there's lots of different hours you could work that you could then work around your full-time job if this is a side hustle or side gig. Okay, so flexible hours I think are definitely a pro. And then great discounts is another one. So pretty much every retail store I've ever worked at has given an employee discount and sometimes free products as well. In my experience, employee discount could usually be used on top of sales and coupons, allowing you to get stuff at a fraction of the price. Actually, there's pieces in my wardrobe that I still have because I was able to afford them because got that employee discount and coupons. I was able to afford higher quality pieces. So even when I didn't like the company for some other reasons, I can't deny that discounts were awesome. Another store, whenever a new design came out, would let all the employees got one, basically, so that we could offer personal testimony to customers and what we thought. And, they didn't come out with new stuff often, but it usually was expensive. So you could usually get at least $200 of stuff free a year in clothing. So great discounts is another pro of working retail. Okay. Another one is fun people to work with usually. I'm still in touch with some of my coworkers, and there's always Facebook to help, keep tabs and be excited about big life events. The thing with working in retail is you're kind of all in it together. As a retail employee, you end up with some pretty ridiculous stories, and having others to commiserate with when it is a rough day and laugh is great. I remember one time after the store closed, it was like 4th of July, or it was headed into 4th of July weekend. We all just put on these wings that were around the store, and we're doing our end of shift jobs in wings, and we all took a picture, and it was a lot of fun because it was working with a lot of great people. Okay. And then variety. So if you're someone that gets bored easily and hates doing the same thing day in, day out, or maybe your day job is doing the same thing day in, day out, and you don't want a side job that's the same idea, then retail could be a great fit because one day you might work the register and the next the sales floor. And if there's somewhere else you want to try, managers are usually pretty open to, moving you around. They like people that are, interested in learning other things, typically speaking. So, and then another pro is because you do get some funny and ridiculous stories out of working retail because customers can be crazy. I think the craziest and one of the craziest and most disgusting, it was disgusting, this mother came into the store with a kid and a stroller, and it was one of those doll strollers. I don't know. The kid was old enough to get up out of it by herself. And she got up out of the stroller and she peed on the floor. I kid you not. It's gross. And then the mother refused to believe that her kid did that. Anyway, I probably wouldn't be sharing that story if I was the one that had to clean it up. Fortunately, I was not. But another one I really liked is when I worked in a sporting goods store and there were Crocs on display. And this girl, I think she was probably 10 or 11, wanted Crocs, and her dad wouldn't let her get them. And his reasoning was, wearing Crocs is like giving up on life, and I'm not gonna let you give up on life. Like, that's what he said to his daughter. It was really funny. I had to like go to the back and like laugh because I couldn't like laugh in front, you know. And then it's also another pro is it's great exercise because you are on your feet all day, which keep in mind, if you're going to be on your feet all day, you really want to wear comfortable shoes. So I definitely would choose comfort over style, because 8 hours in bad shoes can be just torture. Okay. So those are some pros of retail that you may not have thought of, but there's also some cons. One of them being low pay. Like, yeah, you get some great discounts, but in most instances, when you're working retail, you're either earning minimum wage or only slightly above. Now, there's exceptions to that. Typically, there's holiday pay if you're working on a holiday, or like in Massachusetts, it used to be, I'm not sure if it still is, it used to be if you worked Sundays, you got time and a half as well. So if you were a good employee, you tended to get booked for that Sunday shift because you got the extra money. Another con is dealing with people that become the ridiculous stories you tell your friends. Like, everyone has at least witnessed it if they've not experienced it, and hopefully you aren't it. You know, like people who try to steal, and then when you catch them, try to play it off like they aren't stealing, you know. So dealing with those people that become the stories, like that mother, that can be a con for sure. And then another con is doing inventory. I loathe inventory. It's really funny because I was a math major in college, and I love math and I love numbers, but I somehow suck at counting. Don't know why. And trying to count china that's like super expensive at 3 a.m. is extremely nerve-wracking. You're exhausted and you're trying really hard not to drop super expensive stuff. But the tedium of having to count everything just sucks, especially because a lot of times inventory is something that takes place overnight. So they just like book a bunch of employees to work from like 10 p.m. to like 6 a.m. And that's not your normal shift. Usually it's just an inventory thing for like a few nights in a row, depending on how big the store is. And it's exhausting and it sucks, and no one's really cheerful about it. And then another con is working Black Friday, because you know the scene in Mean Girls when like everyone turns into an animal? That can be how Black Friday is. I once worked a Black Friday where I came in at like 3 a.m. and I found a mannequin like taken apart. Like, and then later as we were cleaning up, as things had calmed down, we found the dress the mannequin was in. So they violated the mannequin and then didn't even get the dress that it had on. You know, like, wow. So Black Friday is rough, and you're pretty much guaranteed to have to work Black Friday if you're working retail. It's oftentimes a requirement. And sore feet, because you are on your feet all day. That can be another con. And then sometimes crazy hours. So you might have crazy hours because of Black Friday being open, 48 hours in a row, or doing overnight inventory, so your schedule is flexible, but sometimes you might have to take a shift that really sucks. So bottom line, retail can be a great side hustle, but it's not for everybody. And hopefully with these pros and cons, it's helped you to figure out if it could be right for you. If you found this video useful, please take a second to like and subscribe. And you can always head over to see the full blog post if you want to read through it and pick up on some other tips I said. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.